Alright, hello again everyone. We're on to part 3 where we're going to look at the animation of this hand. Now, this is what I've animated so far. The fist will close slowly and then hit a surface. So what we're looking for is that when you're animating your hand, you want to make sure that you observe the principles of animation. You want to um, you want to observe the principle of timing and spacing. In this case, we want the hand to close slowly and then to hit the surface quickly. So that is the timing and spacing. We also want to observe the principle of anticipation, where before the hand hits the surface, it moves back a little bit and then hits down, which is preparing the audience for a major action. We also want to look at secondary action. If you look closely at the hand, you will observe that it has a slight bend to it where when it goes back and then when it hits the ground, it has a little bit of shake. So you want to show secondary action. So those principles are what you're looking for when animating the hand. So from the hand that I rigged, we're going to start from scratch and we'll go through the animation process. Alright, so we have the hand right here that is rigged. At the moment, there are no keyframes attached to the hand. What you want to do before you start animating the hand, you want to make sure that the auto key is enabled. So that when you place your first keyframe on the timeline and you start to make additional movements or tweaks to the hand, it will automatically apply keyframes to the timeline. So ensure that auto key is enabled. It's at the bottom right corner of the screen. Um, you can also turn on auto key by going to Windows, Settings and Preferences, and in the Preferences menu, you want to select Animation, which is under Settings, and ensure that auto key is enabled. You also want to ensure that your default and out tangents are set to auto for this animation. What we also want to ensure is that the on the time slider, we want the playback speed to be 24 FPS times 1 so that we don't have to be doing any play blast to be testing our animation. We can actually play our animation in the software. You just have to make sure that on the time slider that your playback speed is set to 24 FPS times 1. So with those settings, you can click save. So for the hand now, we need to hit a surface. In the exam, you're going to choose a surface that the hand will hit. So the hand will hit a table, uh, it will hit a drum. You can come up with creative things that you can use to hit the surface. You can go ahead and download models from off the internet, that is a free 3D model, and you can be creative with surfaces that you want to smash. In this case, I'm just going to use a cube. So I'm going to add this cube here and I'm going to resize this, and this will be the surface that the hand will be hitting. The next step that I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the forearm here and go to my rotation tool and rotate the hand in this manner here. And I'm going to position it up like this. Make sure that the hand is in line with the cube. Can move the cube a little bit forward. So the objective is, if I want the hand to have a striking motion down on the surface. So we want to position the hand up here like this. Now we're going to apply keyframes to the different joints. So I'm going to select this joint here and ensure that I'm at frame, make sure that you're at frame 1. I'm going to press S on your keyboard to apply a keyframe to the timeline. So S, then what I want to happen is I want to click on all of the joints and make sure that a keyframe is applied to all of them. I'm going to apply a keyframe to all of the joints. I'm selecting on all of them and press S to apply a keyframe on the joints. What I can do, so that I don't select the geometry by accident, I can put the geometry on it on a new layer and lock that layer by pressing this button over here and then turning it to R so I don't accidentally select the geometry. So I ensure that a keyframe is applied to every joint on frame 1. So once that is done, what I want to do is I want the hand to remain stationary for the first 2 seconds. So that would be around frame 48 because remember 24 frames is equal to 1 second. So at around frame 48, we want the hand to remain in the same position. Then once the hand is in the same position, we want the hand or the fist to close slowly. We want it to curl into a fist slowly. Um, so what we want to do is, what we can do here is press S again to at frame 48 for the rest of the joints so that they also remain in a stationary position at frame 48. So I'm just reapplying keyframes again at frame 48 because between frame 1 to 48 the hand doesn't move. Now for this timing I played around with the timing for the fist closing, and what I found out is that from frame 48 to 55 we can make the tip part of the fingers close slowly. If you stretch out your hand and um, act out the action of your hand closing slowly into a fist, you will realize that the tip of your fingers curl up first, then the mid part of your fingers, then the base. So you want to start with the tip of the fingers first by closing it. So because auto key is enabled, I can now go to frame 55, go to my rotation tool and rotate the tip of the thumb finger like that. Go to the index finger, click on that with my rotation tool still on, rotate it like that. Click on the middle finger, tip finger, just rotate that. So I'm going to go rotate all of the fingers, the tip part, at just rotate it a bit like this. So what you can do, you can scrub through your timeline to see the action that is taking place. So you can see the tip of the finger is moving first. Now we want the middle part to now bend. Now what I will do, the, the tip of the fingers, they start to bend at frame 55. I would skip another 2 frames at frame 57 and start to bend the middle part of the finger. So the pinky finger, that part would start to bend. Then I would go to the ring finger and start to bend that at an angle. Um, the reason why I'm doing it like this is because it's called secondary action, where there's delayed movement. So the tip will bend first, then the middle part, then the base. So we're going to do it delayed so that it looks more realistic, like a hand that is closing, and then the middle part of the thumb here would bend. Then at around frame 59, I'm going to have the base bend. So this is where I'm going to start with the thumb because I want the other 4 fingers to enclose the thumb. So I'm going to rotate it down into the thumb first, right there. Then I'm going to go to the index finger and enclose it right there. The middle finger, bend it so. Bring it that over. Go to the ring finger, bend that, and the pinky finger finally, like that. So you see that we have something looking like a fist now. So now if I was to scrub through my timeline, you will see the movement of the fingers taking place, like that. Now, once the fist is closed, we want the fist to now hit the surface of the object. Now, before you don't want to just have the hand slam down on the surface like that. We want to create anticipation of the hand. So the hand will go back a bit and then slam down. So what we're going to do, we're going to click on the forearm here And once we have the fist closed slowly, I'm going to create another keyframe of the hand in an upright position. At frame 60, going to keyframe it in the same position so that the hand is still like that. Then around frame 64, I'm going to move the hand up a bit like that. So the hand moves back a bit, but I'm not just going to leave it like that. I want to create a bit of flexibility with the palm, with the wrist. Because when you move your fist back a little bit, your wrist kind of flex. So you're going to select the palm here. Once again, I'm going to go back to frame 60 and keyframe it in an upright position at 60. Go back to 64 and rotate it up like that. So that when we scrub through the motion, you can see that there's a bit of flexing motion on the wrist. Now we're going to slam the hand down onto the surface. So I would go around frame 70 now, select the forearm and slam and put the hand down here, and then um, select the palm, and because remember we flex back the palm, so the palm would come down like that. So we should have an action. Let me just move this back up a little so that the model doesn't sink into the surface. So when we scrub through our animation, we should have something like this. So I'm going to play it to see how it looks. You press the play button, the fist closes slowly, and then it slams down. I'm observing something wrong here with the middle finger. The middle finger here seems to be tweening. Right, it is tweening from frame 1 to 48. So what I want to do, it shouldn't be tweening, it should be the same keyframe. So I'm going to copy frame 1, go to frame 48 and paste it. Hold on. Still tweening. That means that the and is the middle one. Okay, I see. So this one, copy. There's no keyframe at frame 48. So I'm going to copy from frame 1, go to frame 48 and paste. So that the hand, yes, so I have a keyframe at frame 48 and frame 1, so that when I scrub through, the middle finger isn't tweening by itself. But this will take practice for you to understand these issues and how to troubleshoot them. So let's play back the animation to see how it looks. Now press the play button here, the fist close slowly, and then slam down on the surface. So we have the principle of um, anticipation and overlapping secondary action, and the principle of arcs is also being displayed with this. um, but we don't want to just end it here. When the fist hits the surface, we want to have a little bounce with the fist, because whenever you hit a surface, your fist actually has, it's like Newton's third law. Any um, a force that is applied will apply a opposite but equal force. So the hand just won't hit the surface and just remain stationary. It will have an opposite force reacting on the hand. So we want to show that in the animation. So on the forearm part here, we have the animation slamming down on the surface here, and at around frame 72, I'm going to animate it coming up like this, and then at frame 74 it comes back down like this, so that we have a little bounce motion right here. I want to play the animation so you can see the little effect at the end. So you see, you will notice that it has a little bounce right there. And that's pretty much it on animating the hand. The next stage and the next video that we're going to look at is how to render your animation, because you'll be graded on that as well. And what we need to do is a play blast. But we don't want to play blast the hand with the joint. So I'm going to show you how to hide the joints in the next video.